Hey YouTube, wanted to show you my home DIY aquaponics setup. Really easy to do, pretty cheap as well. I've successfully grown a whole bunch of different stuff like mint and different lettuces, bok choy, things like that. I wanted to just give you an idea of how I put it together and some of the things that I learned while I was doing so. So first off, I just started with a 10-gallon aquarium kit. You can get those for like $50, $70 depending on the deal and where you are. This one's been great. I think it's Aquion, and when you get one, you have to make sure that you're getting a hood that has the built-in LED lights. You can add lights yourself, but it's a little bit more expensive that way, and these lights have actually been plenty for growing the plants, and especially with indirect sunlight coming from the windows. So yeah, 10 gallon kit works pretty well. For the actual aquaponics setup, I just used I think it's about an 80 gallon per hour water pump, submersible water pump, and just some cheap tubing that I got. I think all from Ace Hardware, about 20 bucks or 25 bucks, something like that. Put that in. The water comes up through the back of this Tupperware. The Tupperware's got just clay pebbles that you can get online, super cheap, some like $8 or so. Clay pebbles in just a Tupperware. The water comes in, and there's a little spigot in the back. It shoots in, fills the grow bed. There's this cutout on the front left where the water just then drains out as it goes through the grow bed and hits the root systems of the different plants. So the water, as long as you keep the water level high, it doesn't really disrupt the fish too much. In fact, sometimes it seems like they like playing around in the stream that comes down. When the water level does get a little lower from evaporation and things, to make sure that you're putting extra water in, just because that can disrupt the plants, it can disrupt the fish and things like that. Let's see. Other than that, again, pretty easy system. Things that I ran into when you have a Tupperware system like this, you want to make sure you put holes in the side just so the water level stays consistent. I had issues with lettuce where the water level was a little too high on some lettuce and lower on others, and the ones where the water was around the base of the lettuce, those kind of became mushy and rotted and didn't grow as well. So you really want to focus on having the roots in pebbles around the side to protect it from the heat, or from the light, but the roots in the water and the base of the plant out of the water. I've noticed the same thing with mint and things like that. Other than that, what can you and can't you put in here? Tomato plants do great in here. Mint is awesome. I got organic mint from Trader Joe's or something like that, and it had some bugs on it that ended up ruining the mint, but generally mint does really well. Any sort of lettuce does really, really well and grows super well. Baby bok choy or bok choy, I've had a lot of success with. So really just playing around with it and figuring out what you like. Oh, and as for the tank itself, just stocked with the normal like 1 fish per 10 gallon rule. I also have a snail in there, and snails create a lot of fertilizer. I apologize for the poor editing, but I did just also want to note, to keep the pebbles from spilling out, I've got half a bottle in there with the drinkable side into the clay pebbles and rocks to weigh that down so nothing spills out, as well as under the grow bed I've got just a couple pieces of treated wood that I cut to fit in the little slat that the hood would go on.